Saddle up, Broncos fans. It's the Denver Bronco Roundup. Hey, it's Tuesday, 7 p.m. It's the Denver Bronco Roundup. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Broncos fans. I'm Keith Brugman. To my left or right, I don't know how it actually lays out, is I always have trouble with this. What it looks like on my screen, it would be to my right. So we'll go with that. Albert, the Mile High Dutchie. Welcome, Albert. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantabulous, so it is a wonderful day.
Fantabulous. Wonderful day. Love it. Mr. Moncrief, how are we doing, sir?
Doing great. Nuggets up 28-14.
Yes. We know that a lot of you Colorado sports fans might be on here as well. This is the Denver Bronco Roundup. So Jody's going to keep us up to date, I think, from time to time on some Nuggets and some Lakers. I'll be honest, I may not be your biggest fan, everybody, because quite honestly, yeah, I'm a Lakers fan, these guys. So I do love the Nuggets, though, man. I'll be honest, I love what the Nuggets are. I love what they've done, and the Joker got stolen from this year. Should have had 3 in a row, and I'll leave it at that. Gentlemen, we got a lot on the plate, man. It's been since last Tuesday that we were on here. We had a guest that was on. I think we chewed up a little bit more time than we wanted to on some topics. Didn't get to a few things. Now we fast forward. We've got a whole bunch of new topics to talk about. Man, and before we get started, I got to start off with this, and this is the fact that we are brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Sports Network, guys. Rocky Mountain Sports Network brings you the Denver Bronco Roundup every single week. I apologize. I was all set to go, I thought. But make sure that you check them out on Facebook. If you go to Facebook.com, you're searching out the groups, you look at Rocky Mountain Sports Network, you'll find them there. You can also, and they've been killing it with new articles, guys. Head over to Rocky Mountain Sports Network. That's RockyMountainSN.com. That's RockyMountainSN.com. www. You know, the whole World Wide Web thing that people do these days. Head on over there. Articles popping up every single day, it seems like, guys, covering all the Colorado sports. So if you are looking for a little bit of that Nuggets coverage outside of Jody's timely reports of the score that we're getting this evening, head over to Rocky Mountain Sports Network. They've already had articles on the Nuggets, and they'll continue to. Also have articles, obviously, on all your baseball that's coming up. Unfortunately, your Avalanche have just exited, just as of recently, out of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So maybe still some articles about that coming around. But check them out, RockyMountainSportsNetwork.com. So also, and I'm just going to knock this out of the park, we are sponsored by WillowSeasonings.com. Head over to WillowSeasonings.com. Last time I checked, they were in the running for first place at the sauce and barbecue spice competition that they were at. We'll be waiting to hear those announcements. But right now, if you head over there, get some of that award-winning sauces and seasonings. Type in DBR 2023, get yourself 15% off, and help for a great cause. And we'll talk about that later, guys. Tons and tons to talk about, man. I am so excited for tonight. We're going to try to keep this, tight, on time, Jody's wanting to watch as much Nuggets, Lakers. He wants to see his Nuggets go down to my Lakers. Don't ask me why, but that's something he just lives for. But we're going to jump right in. I think we'll just hit it right off the top, guys. Schedule release came out. We got the games. We know how they're going to get lined out. We know when our bye week is going to be. We know how many home games, how many away games, whether we're going to some foreign country. Thank goodness we're not this year. And we're going to jump right into it, guys. We want to go line by line, game by game. Get your ideas. I want to get Albert's ideas. I want to get Jody's ideas. You're going to get my ideas. Maybe, Albert, do you have a pen and paper handy anywhere around? You're usually that guy.
I have a pen and I have a piece of paper.
All right, man. Better write 3 columns down for 17 games, man. Why don't you tally up for us? I know I'm putting you on the spot. Appreciate you always being prepared. I could get it done if you need to, but love to have you do that for me. We're going to go game by game, guys, and really figure out exactly where we're at. I'm going to start. We'll start bottom up, man, as we see it. I love this layout. I can figure this one out. Albert's in the middle. Jody's on the bottom. Keith's on top. All right, guys. All right. No left or right. No. If I want to point to somebody, they're right down there. See, there. Just keep going. Okay. It will end up starting with Jody. But first, I want to start off with one of our first comments of the night. Kenny Kirkpatrick of the amazing K&K Sports Show. Check that out if you want to get all your sports, not just your Colorado sports, not just your Denver Bronco Roundup, but I'm talking all your baseball, all your basketball, all your football. They even got a great hockey guy over there as of lately. But Kenny's coming in saying the only orange and blue that looks better than these 3 are my favorite friends in the Rocky Mountains is the Knicks. Good evening, fellas. Looking forward to the show. Well, thank you, Kenny. We're looking forward to great comments like you, and you'll look forward to great sports talk if you go out and search out that K&K Sports Show. Got Leanna coming in saying the jacket is back, and now we look like the Brady Bunch lineup. So thank you, Leanna. I appreciate that. I'm no longer the youngest one in curls. That's for sure. So, Jody, let's kick us off, man. Got Raiders week 1 out the gate, Sunday, 2:25 p.m. Nothing special. It's our regular scheduled programming day and time. But we open up against the Raiders. How you feeling about this game, bud?
Really good. Sean Payton's debut. Russ is back. This O-line. Run the ball. I see a win here for sure. Put some doubters to rest right away that Russ is washed.
I like it, man. There's a lot of reasons I like that, but I'm going to hit over to Albert next. Albert, the hated Raiders, man, they're coming into Mile High Stadium, or they're coming into the Mile High City, whatever stadium we may be named this year. We did have a renaming of the health center. That I digress from. The Raiders come to town, and what are you thinking on this game, buddy?
It is hard to say, but this is a must-win game.
Must win right out the gate.
Must win right out of the gate, because this will set the precedent for the entire season, I believe. And if they win here, to not even to end this the winning streak of the Raiders, but what would it do to the confidence of the Broncos? It is a must-win.
I'll give you this. If you want to go on an epic tear, it all starts in that week 1. To go in, and this is what I like about this week 1 matchup. It's an AFC West rivalry. It's not the Chiefs, which obviously everybody would hate to have on their schedule week 1. They're a menace no matter what week you get them. To go out there and have to face the Chiefs, for instance, would be almost disastrous. You're fighting that uphill battle. You got the Raiders. They just let go of their Derek Carr, who's now went to the Saints, and a lot of people think that the Saints are going to do great things in that division. You get the Raiders. They come to Mile High. They came to your home. You're not going to them. This is your opportunity to go 1-0, not only to start off the season, but in the AFC West. I'm not going to say it's a must-win, Albert, but I will say that this is a game that I would expect to win, and I think it's a game that if you do win, you do have that opportunity to start maybe an epic run. We'll just have to see how the rest of these games play out. Hey, we got Roy Osborne coming in. Thank you, Roy, for joining the conversation. He goes, I want to be realistic. I predict 7 to 8 wins. With this schedule, maybe 9. So that's where he's. Hey, I appreciate it. Roy, honestly, after years and years and years, I understand you wanting to be realistic. I understand you not wanting to be the guy that's going to flash up 12 wins up on the board and stick your flag in that 12 and say that's where I'm going, man. Knock me off this mound. I get it, bud. If you're feeling 7, 8, 9 wins, I understand it. We'll get to our prediction, obviously, game by game. Maybe you can play along at home and maybe see if you get to that 7, 8, or 9 wins. And but I hear you, buddy. I get you. Michelle Knopper's coming in on YouTube. Sorry, saying evening, gents. Evening, Michelle. Appreciate you joining the conversation as well. And Kenny just saying, game 1, very important to see where you guys stand on the division right out of the gate. Exactly what I was saying, Kenny. All right, so we head off next to, and we don't head off anywhere. We stay home. Commanders come to us, guys. So we'll go ring around the rosy. I'll start off on this one. We'll go down to Albert. Commanders, guys, obviously Sam Howell looks like is going to be possibly the starting quarterback. We have the Commanders who are maybe going to get sold. We have the Commanders who, if they're going to put something together, I don't think it's going to be in week 2. I think this is a game that we should be able to string together our second win. And another thing that I would really say is whenever you have new coaching, new staff, new scheme, you have the opportunity to take teams by surprise early. They have no tape on you. You're not putting a whole lot out there in preseason. It's really your opportunity if you have capable coaches who put together capable schemes to really come out of the gate and take advantage of people not knowing what you're going to be doing week to week until they get a little bit of knowledge on you. So for that reason as well, I think the Commanders is another win. Albert, how do you see it?
Yeah, I see this as a win as well. Definitely, because I think Sean Payton wants to put his mark on the team and show what we have. And Russell is the same. Russell is always have been very competitive, and I really like him as a quarterback. And he's going to show us what he still has in his register. So I definitely think it is a win.
Jody, Sunday 225 game, just another Sunday game. 2 nice regular 225 home games for us in a row. Washington Commanders come to town. How do you see it, man?
I'll second Albert. I see another win. And piggyback off what you said. If you can't beat a team led by Sam Howell and it's probably second, third NFL start, then you've got other problems. This is a game that you can. These first 2 games are games you can get right with and get the season going in the right direction.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. I think there's no reason for Broncos fans and Roy, hopefully, to not think that there's it's most probable that we're 2-0 after these first couple of games. They're home games back to back. They're regular Sunday afternoon games. We have a couple of our weaker opponents, honestly, on the schedule as you look this over, right off the bat. These, as Kenny put, this is a must-win game against a team with a rookie QB in Sam Howell, kind of echoing what I said earlier. We should be 2-0 at this point. But in week 3, Jody, we're hitting the road, buddy. We got the early 11 o'clock Eastern time game. We head off to Miami and face the Dolphins. Maybe our first real push for some competition on the field, I think. We'll be facing off against a defense we may know quite well because it's ran by Well, Vic Fangio. So how do you feel going up against the Dolphins in week 3?
This is probably going to be a little bit of a struggle. Denver never plays well in the early time slot. It's something they don't do very often. And I can see this one. This could be a coin flip, but I'll go with a loss.
Oh, putting a loss up on the board. First loss of the season down in Miami.
I mean, Tua's hot and cold, and I'm not really sold on Tua yet. I mean, he's injury prone. He may have another concussion by the time they play, to be honest, really. And I mean, and without Tua, they don't really have anything behind him. They don't have Teddy anymore down there, so
100% true. I mean, maybe a little bit too early in the season to predict a Tua to be already exiting, but at the same time, it only takes one hit. It's not like we're talking about, a guy that comes up limp on a foot from time to time. Anything is possible. But I understand putting a loss on the board, going up against Bradley Chubb, Vic Fangio, possibly Tua out there, Tyreek Hill. I mean, the coaching staff that they put together, there's a lot of expectations in Miami. I can tell you from the other side of the board, if you're Miami, how are you looking about Denver coming to town? And they may be looking at this as a win type of game. Albert, how do you see week 3 playing out as we head off to Miami?
I have them as a win. The Dolphins were really hot last year, and now they have been known. So you know what type of coach you have, so you can predict it, but they cannot predict what we have because everything is new here. So I think that is going to be a big surprise for them. But I think we will have a win there.
Very good. Kenny chiming in again and says the Broncos get a win here. The Dolphins are going to be one of his biggest disappointments this year. So Kenny not so hot on the AFC East Miami Dolphins. Comes to me, guys. I'll be honest. I'm kind of in that same position as Jody. I'm kind of in a coin flip here, and if I'm in a coin flip with an East Coast team, us having to fly out there early game, possibly miserably hot as we're talking about September 24th in Miami. I'm going to put a loss on the board for me on this one, Albert. You can chalk me up for a loss here, and it's close, but I think if I want to be honest with myself, I'm going to put a loss here. Now, I will say, guys, I think as we go through, and we'll have another round of this as well later on in the off season, before the season closes or before the season starts, we'll do this again, I'm sure. I want to do a little bit more research on some of these teams and their schedule and what they have leading up. Obviously, if you're coming from London or anything like that, that could definitely affect these games. I'm just thinking about where they stand on paper today. So give me that benefit of the doubt as well. So
I would like to say something about that.
Okay.
If we are in close games, last year we definitely would lose them. But now with Sean Payton, I think he can be the deciding factor in close games and we can win them.
It's funny you bring that up. I'll mention this just really quickly before I skip on to Chicago, our next away game that we'll be playing, and that's going to be another 11 o'clock, time slot as we head off to Chicago. But Kareem Jackson recently joined 104.3 The Fan, joining the Zach and Stokely show. He was on there, and he was kind of talking a little bit about that. And just the fact of how the season went wrong. Jody, I think you'd be very happy if you hadn't heard this already, but he said, this is not just a Russell Wilson thing. He said, we had a lot of injuries. He's like, I might have been the only guy who played every single game last year, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
He's like, he goes, I know we had a constant rotation, new rotations on defense. They had the same thing on offense. And he goes, and when you look at how close we were in like 8 to 9 of those games where we could have won them, where we were 8 points or less, where they were walk-off overtime wins for the other team. He goes, He's like he was just talking about everything that went wrong last year. And as Albert, as you're bringing up, I think there's opportunity for things to go right. I like your right mindset. If it's a coin flip in your mind, it's going our way this time, rather than the other team's way this time. Albert's got us at 3-0. Jody, we're at 2-1 on our team. We head off to Chicago, kicking it off there. I'll just be honest. I have no faith in the Chicago Bears football team until proven otherwise. And I'll keep it short and sweet as far as that is concerned. I have no faith until proven otherwise. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a win in the column for us on the road, going to Chicago. I think at this point we're a team that has now had a few weeks to put this together. And if we are going to go on a little bit of a run, we got to get a win here in Chicago, and I think it's something we can get done. Put me down for a win, Albert, and then it's on to you, sir.
Yeah, this could be indeed a surprise. It could be a win, it could be a loss. I'm hoping for the best. I'm putting down a win.
Man, Albert with a flying high 4-0 Denver Broncos. I love it, man. But honestly, hey, Kenny's coming in here and he's saying 3-1 first quarter, looking good in his opinion. He's saying the Chicago Bears is a clunker or a classic look ahead game, which all teams have one of a year. So get it out of the way early in the season. Whew, boy, I had a trouble with that, man. Appreciate you chiming in though, Kenny. But regardless, 3-1. Jody, where do you see us sitting as far as Chicago is concerned?
Where Kenny said he sees the Dolphins as one of the most overrated teams, I see Justin Fields as one of the most overhyped quarterbacks going into this season. He has done nothing in his first 2 years, and I am really glad that George Payton did not pick him and he picked PS2.
Opportunity was there.
Opportunity was right there. I mean, I really wanted him at the time. I'm glad I'm not the GM of this team.
Jody's skeletons are haunting that in the closet.
Yeah, and this should be a win. You should be able to dominate. You bringing back pretty much your same defense as last year that was dominant. So this should be a win, and I see us 3-1 after the first quarter.
All right, man. Well, it's a whole new New York Jets football team that should be coming to the Mile High City for a 2:25 Sunday game again, just a normal Sunday game as of now. The reason, I'll be honest, before I pass this off to you, the reason I bring this up, guys, we had so much going on as we started off last year. I was going to bring up the whole schedule. Maybe if one of you guys have an opportunity, you can in the background whenever we're running this. Sometimes it glitches our StreamYard a little bit, so don't want to do that necessarily. I have a hard enough time with our IT problems as it is. No reason to play with it. But we started off, guys, with Monday night, Thursday night. We were like all over the board as far as our starting schedule. If you look at this first 5 games as the New York Jets come to town, it's our 5th game in a row as far as just a standard Sunday game. Just a normal run-of-the-mill Sunday game. So the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers, come to town, man. They're loaded with talent. They could be putting it together at this point. Jody, how do you see this Sunday matchup going down with the New York Jets?
I think Russ has a lot to prove. Nathaniel Hackett going to show that was the problem here. There was no structure. And I think Russ has something to prove, and they're going to want to stick it to the Jets. And I think this is a big win for the Broncos.
Putting it in the win column for the Denver Broncos here?
Big win.
Big win. So you're right here with Kenny, because I one thing I should have mentioned, we got a lot of matchups. We already talked about the Fangio matchup, obviously. We had the Josh McDaniels in week 1. We have the Fangio matchup in week 3, and then we fast forward to week 5 here, and we have the Nathaniel Hackett matchup, if you will. So he says no Hackett celebration here. The Broncos are going 4-1. Albert, what you say about the home game against the Jets?
So it is depending. I think it will be a win, and if especially if that defensive tackle Quinn, what is it, Quinnen,
Oh,
is not
yep, Quinnen
uh,
Williams.
Quinnen Williams is not playing, then I don't see a loss in here. So I definitely think a win. If they come to a conclusion there with the Jets, because he is a difference maker, that Quinnen Williams. So I hope for the best and be positive. This is a win.
The 5-0 Denver Broncos. Dutchie's riding high at this point, man. I can't wait to hear your hoot, holler, yodel, whatever you have coming on as we get to go to as we get to 5-0. If that be the case, sir. Um, I'll be honest. One of my, I think the Jets are going to stumble out of the blocks. You're trying to get a Nathaniel Hackett offense installed with Aaron Rodgers and now the newly acquired Randall Cobb. So maybe that helps, regardless of his age, I guess. But you got Randall Cobb in the building again.
I mean, I will say though that it probably meshes a little quicker than what it did here because he was in Green Bay.
Oh, 100%, man. I don't disagree, man. I just still think it's not going to be easy. It's not going to. I just don't expect it to be. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers for years have not been easy out of the gate. I have why I would expect him to go to the Jets with Nathaniel Hackett and put it all together. But I'm worried because this is week 5. Early prediction. All right. So not held to anything here. I'm going to go to that coin flip again. I'm going to go Albert's side of the coin flip this time. I'm going to just go ahead and go with the win here. I'm going to say that we are 4-1 at this point with a win against the Jets. So
I mean, if I may ask a question,
yes.
Do we have a Judge Jody moment today?
Ooh, I don't know, man. We'll have to. I'll see if we'll get it in there, man. I'll see it.
This would be a good segment. Will Aaron Rodgers be a great quarterback this year?
Oh, possibly. I have one. I have a little bit if we have time, because Jody wants to keep a clock, which means we need to maybe even speed up a little bit here too, guys, if we want to have any Knoppers knowledge or Judge Jody's as well. But I do have another thing that we can pop up here, and I could throw some Judge Jody around that as well, if we have the time, gentlemen. I digress. Let's move on. It's the Kansas City Chiefs, guys. It's week 6. It's on the road. It's our first primetime game, as it's the Thursday night football game, October 12th. And I guess it's up to me to start this off. And I'll just be honest, guys. I'd love to be riding high at this point. I'd love to be on that epic tear, but I've already had a coin flip in Miami. I've already had a coin flip with the New York Jets at home. To be completely fair, I don't even know if most teams would say it's a coin flip to go into Arrowhead on a primetime game and expect to win. I want it to be close, guys, but I'm going to have to put a loss for the Denver Broncos. I think we avenge this loss. And it won't take too much time to do it if we do. But that being said, I'll put a loss here as we head off to Arrowhead on that Thursday night. And we head off to Albert with his prediction.
Are you trying to obnubulate me?
Am I trying to what?
Obnubulate me. Darken my mood.
I may have darkened a few Broncos moods, but it's my realistic take at this point. And what is your realistic take? That being said, Mr. Knoppers.
So, I think last year we were at Arrowhead, and I think we had only a 3-point difference in the game, and that was with a full healthy Chiefs team. They had maybe a couple of injuries, but not really pronounced. I think we're gonna upset them. I think we will have another win.
Oh my gosh, man! If you give me a 17-0 season, Albert, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to body check you like you're an Avalanche skater out on the ice, man, or something. You know, a competitor of the Avalanche, I guess you could say. All right, mark down your win. You marked it. You might have 17 marks already down in one column on your tabulation sheet.
Nope.
But that being said, I do want to jump in before we get to Jody. Just say hello to the other side of the K&K show, and that is Mr. Kurt Valente. Like I said, check them out for all your sports, whether it be baseball, basketball, football. They got a great hockey guy. They cover all sports, just not your Colorado sports. So if you're looking for, especially maybe a little bit of Knicks, a little bit of Giants, those type of teams, these are your guys. I guarantee it. Great betting show that starts up when the football season kicks up as well. A lot of things going on over there. Check them out, K&K Sports Show. But he says, Rodgers, yes, absolutely big year. He says, run the ball right down KC's throat. I think that Albert might be right along those lines with you because he's predicting a win. He says, Mr. Kenny says, I'll be realistic and give the Chiefs this one and a 4-2 start. Not to be outdone by Mr. Kurt coming back in and said, Russ is going to light it up this year. Let's go. And getting a big, big clap, unfortunately, by the somewhat obscured Mr. Jody Moncrief with our comments. Sorry about that, Jody. But last but not least, Mr. Ray Osborne, first third of the season, I predict 3-3. Ooh, racking up the losses more than we saw at this point. One more than me or Jody has given, but where are we at, boys? Jody and his Kansas City prediction?
Yep.
Sorry to keep you hanging, buddy. What do you got for us?
I have a loss here just because you're coming off such a big game against the Jets.
Short turnaround?
Short turnaround. They want to show and it's in Kansas City. They want to show, hack it up. So I have a loss here.
Very good, man. Very good. Well, week 7, Green Bay Packers come to town. It's no longer Aaron Rodgers' team. It's Jordan Love's. It'd be interesting to see exactly what the Green Bay Packers are. What do you think they are as they come to town? Are they a competitor? Do we get a win? Do we rack up a loss? How do you feel about this one, Jody?
This is a win. I don't think what we've seen from Jordan Love yet has not been good. And I think they will. I mean, yes, there was a lot of antics with Aaron Rodgers, but I think they will regret losing him.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for what they got for Aaron Rodgers, probably be the case. You know, there's still a year or two in there. It'd be whether Aaron Rodgers was going to give the Packers that year or two as well. Albert, Packers come to town, man. You're riding high. We're 6-0. Packers come to town. Did we make it 7?
I think this is where we get the loss. That is the trap game. I think this is the trap game for the Broncos.
Riding high, feeling good.
Yep.
Got that Thursday night win. Supposed to have that extra time. Packers aren't that great. We should get this win. Just let off the gas, buddy. Just let that undefeated season go out the door with a Jordan Love win in the Mile High City, man. Well, hats off to you, man. It does got to end at some time. You know, it's inevitable. It would happen. So, guys, it will be interesting. It's always, for me, it's always good to see turnover in our quarterbacks. It's good to see Tom Brady's eventually retire, you know, and new quarterbacks enter the league. You know, you got teams like the Atlanta Falcons who are really excited about Desmond Ridder. We're going up against the Washington Commanders and Sam Howell in week 2. You know, they're a little excited about what they got, you know, to come in there and maybe prove who he is. That being said, I don't have tape on Jordan Love, and I don't have that much confidence, I guess. So I will put a win here for the Broncos as the Packers come to town that Sunday. So I like this, man. Leanna coming in and says, Broncos will kick Green Bay butt. Yep, I like that, man. I like that. Like a Super Bowl. That would be fantastic. Says Love couldn't pull the Utah State team together. Leanna does come out of Utah and is very close to Utah State. I happen to know that. So Leanna knows who Jordan Love is and remembers him back to his Utah State days. Wasn't impressed then. Isn't impressed now as a Green Bay Packer. Nice little bit of insight, Leanna. Thanks for chiming in. And now it's back around.
Aggies.
Go Aggies. Yeah, that's right. That's right, man. I actually was able to sit in the stands for a game or two myself. So, oh, yeah, you're an Aggie. I totally forgot about that. So, man, look at all the relationship we have going all the way around the Denver Bronco Roundup this evening, man. Holy shnikes. So, wow. Coming in hot. Just watch a Little League game to see what Love's performance looks like, man. Wow. Leanna coming in hot. Appreciate it, Leanna, but we know where you're at on this game. We're going to put it up as a win. So, and finally go Aggies. So, Kansas City Chiefs, guys. Now, to this point, we haven't seen the bye. It's right around the corner, man. You're playing right up into that bye. Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs in town. What we ended up with, what Jody, was it Jody that predicted? No, it was me that predicted the last Green Bay game. So it's back to me on this one as well. Man, like I said, got to get that monkey off our back. I did a coin flip on the last one, on that primetime game. But this is a mile high game. This is us going into the bye. This is us finally this is a celebration week. I want to be, October 29th, whatever Tuesday it is. Heck, we might even have a special broadcast if we get that monkey off our back and go live right after that win. I'm predicting a win here, though, for the Kansas City Chiefs, man. I'm passing it on to Mr. Albert.
You're predicting a win for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Oh, win for the Broncos over the Kansas City Chiefs. Sorry, man. Thank you for catching me on that, man. Not only does he keep the score, he makes sure the language is perfect. Mr. Albert Knoffers.
Yeah, I think because they lost against the Packers, so they are motivated to win again. So win it is.
Just like that. Short and sweet. We do need to catch up on some time, so I appreciate it. Love it. And we're on to Mr. Jody Moncrief with the
Albert just predicted a sweep versus the Chiefs this year.
Yep. It's a good thing we didn't have more AFC West opponents to begin the year, because we might have a sweep of many of them. No, I'm just kidding. You're giving you a bad time, Albert. No, go ahead, man. Hey, just really quick. There is nothing wrong, especially right out the gate, being excited about your Broncos, man. You're going to go one of two ways, Broncos fans. I feel the same way. We've had years and years and years of living in the gutter. Let's just face it. And you're either going to say, I'm not going to be too optimistic, like our good friend Roy was talking about earlier, with maybe just 7, 8, 9 wins if we're lucky. Or you can say, you know what? I'm going all in, like that, like the DiNucci, and get behind your team and be excited. And I like it, Albert. You're not the only one out there, I guarantee it. Jody, though, where are you going on this one? Sorry, buddy.
I'm going to piggyback off of you, get the monkey off their back. Big win at home. Go into the bye. What do I have? 8, so 6-2.
6-2,
buddy. 6-2, yeah. I agree, buddy. I agree. Just like Kenny, so far, I think a lot of us are actually in the same losses, same wins. Kenny's saying Broncos get it done, 6-2. We have a celebration on the K&K with 3 of you as our guests. Man, look at that, man. Well, I would love to join. Make sure that Kurt lets us also celebrate, getting the word in edgewise. He'll be amped up as well, man, because Kurt will be off the rails with that Kansas City win. So, I haven't even read this all the way through, but he says, Keith, quick question heading into the bye. Which game would sting more if you lost the Chiefs at home or Hackett and Rodgers beating up your defense in victory?
Oh, Hackett and Rodgers for me.
Chiefs at home. I'll still go Chiefs at home.
I mean, we've lost 15 in a row to the Chiefs, so
yeah, and that's why it'd be heartbreaking to continue that streak at that point.
Every time that we lose to them, it's not really heartbreaking for me, but
to me, the reason you're exactly what you're saying. I already predicted that we would have a week 6 loss to the Chiefs, to also have a week 8 loss to the Chiefs, and go yet another year where we don't beat the Chiefs. I think that would be more heartbreaking than losing to the Jets.
I think losing to the Jets would be devastating for me, because the Chiefs, we know they are Super Bowl contenders every year for the last 6-7 years. So we know they are very, very good. The Jets have been hot and cold, and now if they have, let's see, the Packers have 5 losing games, and then they come to us and they win at our place. Yeah, that would be dramatic.
Not the Packers, the Jets. If we're talking Aaron Rodgers, buddy.
I mean, the Jets.
Yep. Go ahead. I'm just still gonna. We'll move on, and it's a great question, Kenny. Obviously, you got a ton of debate out of us, and I appreciate it. But
for me, it's very simple. It's whose fault was it last year? Was it Hackett's or was it Russ's? And if you go and get destroyed, and Rodgers looks like he's in MVP race, or has an incredible game, it's just more of you're going to hear. It's just another reason to blame Russ. So I don't want that this year. I don't want to hear any of that, and it's just something that I really just want to. And I think Russ is going to be super motivated to.
And for him to be carried off the field as he leads a comeback against the Kansas City Chiefs to head into the bye week, I'm telling you, man, that is a huge monkey, and to get that off our back, he would be Russell Wilson, Sean Payton. The entire team would be more heralded if they beat down the Kansas City Chiefs at home than if they lost. Then they would be ridiculed if they lose to the Jets, especially where we kind of put our prediction at that point. At that point, I would have them at 3-1. We'd be 3-2. And now if they're, if that's their 5th consecutive loss, then there's a lot of things we'd be talking about at that point. But for me, that Chiefs game, get that one off your back, man. You got the whole Denver Bronco fan base riding with you into the bye week. That's where we're at, and that's where I want to take just a little bit of time. I already flashed it up here once, but Michelle Knopper says, love our team, and we are all in. We got the great Michael Ronquillo joining us in and saying, good evening, Keith. Good evening. Good evening, Jody. And good evening, Albert. So, good evening, Mr. Ronquillo. Appreciate you joining us. Thanks for chiming in and being part of the conversation. Join in anytime. We're at the bye week right now, just kind of going back and forth. Kenny saying, thanks, guys, for answering his question. And absolutely, Kenny, we love, I put it up there every single time. It's right in the title, guys. It's time for your Denver Bronco Roundup. Man, as we saddle up every single week, we ride in here. It's not just our show, man. We got the entire posse behind us, and that's all of you guys that are liking, sharing, subscribing, and certainly commenting and being part of the conversation. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys so much. And continue to join in as we kind of blaze through the second half of this schedule, guys, which we'll have to do at this point. Absolutely have to do.
I have a quick question.
Okay, quick question.
So we're 8 games in. How many games has Javonte Williams played?
Oh, very good. First off, can I edit your question just a little bit, buddy? What game does he start, and how many games has he played? Does he start week 1?
No.
And has how many games has he played by week, 8, through the first 8 games? Is that okay? Can we edit to that?
Yeah.
Albert, go ahead.
I think he will start when when we are going to the Chiefs. That's his first start. As a starter, he might maybe show up maybe for 1 or 2 plays at the Jets to see
Okay.
what is going on, but to be a starter officially coming back against the Chiefs.
Very good. Boy, I'm going to echo that, man. I like that. Not starting out week 1 or week 2. Hit the road. No reason to start him on the road. Come back against the Jets. Maybe get him some touches. Chiefs, maybe he gets that first opportunity. Yeah, I would say Jets first touches. And at that point, I think, yeah, he's played out. He's played in 1, 2, 3, 4 games at that point by the time we hit the bye. And Albert, I take it you would agree with that?
Yep.
Okay, Jody, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, I think he's going to start on PUP, so that's a minimum of 4. So if not the Jets, then I don't think you rush him back in a quick game, Kansas City. So if not the Jets, probably Green Bay.
Okay. Which one are you going with then?
I'll go with the Jets. I'll say he gets some touches in the Jets, probably not starting, and then
Yeah. Okay, we're all on the same
gives
page.
him 1, 2, 3, 4 games, and then possibly after the bye, see where he's at, and maybe starting against Buffalo.
And Kenny's saying after Green Bay, week 8 at home, then he gets a week off with the bye. So he's just going to push him all the way out there, just get him basically 1 game with reps out there, and then be able to take that week off and be ready to maybe pump it up from there. So
At halftime, Nuggets up by 18.
oh, good. I love big comebacks, man. Go Lakers. Go Lakers. All right. Well, I can't remember where we left off, so we're just going to start off with Jody because I know Jody wants to be quick. So we're going to try to go lightning round. But this is our first Monday night football game, guys. Coming off the bye, 6:15, November 13th. Jody, what do you have? Buffalo Bills on the road.
I think this will be competitive, but I see a loss here.
Very good. Very loss. And Jody is currently at what? 6-3.
6-3, yep.
All right. Dutchy, the Buffalo Bills, Monday night, away game. How you feeling? Monday night.
I'm feeling a loss here. The Bills are one heck of a team to play against, and I think they're definitely playoff contenders. So yeah, I see a loss here.
Yeah, been doing everything right. Seems like they have a ton of talent. Only seem like they add more talent every single year at this point. That being said, Kenny will vouch for this. I was on the comments over at the K&K show. I think Buffalo is going to be one of those teams that's going to be the biggest disappointments this year, and they're going to miss the playoffs. And if I'm going to say they're going to be the biggest disappointments and they're going to miss the playoffs, then certainly the Denver Broncos, who are 6-2 at that point, riding into town, off of a bye week, all that time to plan for them, Monday night game, big game, extra time even. I'm going with the Denver Broncos win here, guys, and I'm excited about what we're starting to put together at this point. So Michael Ronquillo says, I predict the Broncos will be 10 wins and 7 losses in the first year under Sean Payton. And, man, wouldn't that be a fantastic year under Sean Payton, man? I'll be honest, I haven't went through this schedule game by game like we're doing now. I had an original thought process of 9-7-1 for years. I'm no longer predicting that. I'm just going to go through this game by game. And I guess we got Buffalo done. It's me for the Vikings. Sunday night football. Vikings are coming to town. I really like the Vikings. Most people are down on them. I think Kirk Cousins is much better than what most people like to give him credit for. That being said, man, Buffalo, bring on the Minnesota Vikings at this point, man. I'm going to put up another win on the board, man. I just can't see how I'm not going to put another win on the board. I'm liking what the Broncos are putting together at this point. Man, I'm going to be a little scary. I might be looking more like that 17-0 by the time I get done here. But think about it, guys. I know that Justin Jefferson's great. A lot of it's going to depend on what this defense can do, and I kind of alluded to it. I guess I'm really high on him tonight because, guys, I think this defense is going to get pushed with the amount of points that the Broncos are going to be able to put up. It's going to make some of our opponents try to push the ball and put up points. It's going to push our defense. But I'm high tonight on him. I'm going to go with the Vikings win on Albert. I'm sorry for the long, elaborated lightning round.
No worries. It's going to be a tough game as well, a close game. But like I said, with Sean Payton here, close games are going to turn into our favor. Our win.
A win for Dutchy. All right, Jody.
I have a win.
Win, and I like it, man. Cleveland Browns Sunday, back to regular 2:05 game. Jody, Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson. Do they start putting it together? What do they have? How do you guys see the game going?
Win. This is probably my most overrated team going into the season. So I have a win.
Win. Mr. Dutchy, how do you feel about the Cleveland Browns coming to town that Sunday?
I think Deshaun Watson will get a butt whooping here. And that's a whooping starts with a W.
All right, man. So, win there for us?
Yes.
All right, making sure. All right, very good. Just to let you know, Kenny says Vikings get a win, and Dutchy gets a Madison's autograph after the game. Congratulations, buddy. He's got him at 6-4 at that point. Does give him the win versus Cleveland. He says, hey, this could be a low-scoring win in cold weather. Gets him to 7-4. I'm also going to put a win up against the Cleveland Browns at home, man. I just want another one of those Chicago-type teams where until they prove it otherwise, I think we got to win there. A lot of this is going to be, hey, guys, there's going to be teams that are going to rise and fall. We're not going to be sure exactly what team's going to be better than expected and which teams are going to be worse than expected. That being said, Sunday, 2:05, December 3rd, we head off to Houston. I'm predicting a win, and I'll just pass it along from there. So, Mile High Dutchy, it's your turn, sir.
I am going on a limb here, and or however you call it, and I'm putting in a loss.
Loss versus the Texans. Riding high, got a couple of big draft picks. Maybe Stroud's riding high, and things are all put together. How do you see it, Jody, as we head off to Houston?
I have a win here.
Got a win there as well. I like it, man. Roy just jumping in says, second, third, I see either 2-3 or 3-2, but he says he does see the Vikings as a wild card. And like I said, Vikings, man, are going to be a tough team. Don't underrate. Don't be down on the Vikings, man. I'm telling you, they're putting things together there, and I think Kirk Cousins has that possibility. Texans will be respectable, but the Broncos pull out a win, pull out a close one, 8-4 from Kenny, he says. So, gentlemen, it's the San Diego Chargers next. What we ended up with Jody on this last one. So, Jody, kick us off. San Diego Chargers, December 10th, standard Sunday game, on the road as we head off to L.A. What are you thinking on this game, sir?
I'll go loss here.
Loss. Taking that loss against Herbert, and they're going to be a formidable team. Understood. Albert, how do you feel this game going?
Yeah, I think this game is also going towards the Chargers. Herbert is quite a formidable quarterback, and he knows how to play, and he can get it done.
Yeah, Chargers, this is one of the one teams that we've actually been able to split a few games with, get some wins versus in the AFC West. Hasn't been that way, obviously, with the Kansas City Chiefs, and unfortunately, even with the Las Vegas Raiders, who've kind of had our number. Gentlemen, I'll be honest, I know that the Chiefs are hated. I know that the Raiders are hated. But the Chargers might be my next most hated rival in the AFC West. And I'll tell you why. Because they gave us bulletin board material. And before I get to the bulletin board material, I want to say hi to our good friend Chad Jensen of the Mile High Huddle. also Chad Jensen of Bridge the Gap. So, man, whether you just want to rock out some nice punk rock music, check out Bridge the Gap. You want to check out a show when we're not on, because those guys are going like 5 days a week, 6 days a week. I think, 6 days a week if I remember right. So always a show on over at the Mile High Huddle. Thank you, Chad, for coming in here. Appreciate you, buddy. Rock on as well. So bulletin board material, buddy, and I know I don't want to pull this out for a long, stretch our show too long, buddy, but let me see if oh, no. I didn't get it in here in time. Let me see if I have it here real quick. Oh, I do. So the first one I just want to bring up is this one. I think you guys will enjoy this. As most people know, bulletin board material is a thing now. And not only that, but I shouldn't say bulletin board material. I'm getting a little bit distracted. Not bulletin board material, but these schedule release videos. The Broncos had one. It's all themed around The Office. Great. Well done. Funny, well done. But, not ranked among the highest. And when I looked at who was ranked among the highest, the San Diego Chargers were among the highest ranked. So I went in, I looked at it, and I grabbed just a couple screenshots. And this is why they're my new favorite rival. Okay, guys? So this is one of their shots for one of their games against us. If you're not familiar, this is SpongeBob SquarePants versus Russell Wilson, as they, of course, squared off last year, and as SpongeBob made fun of Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos during their Nickelodeon broadcast.
This is Patrick, not SpongeBob.
Oh, I'm sorry, Patrick. Thank you. Patrick from SpongeBob SquarePants, I should say. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Jody, what are your thoughts, buddy, on this one? And I'll get the second one all queued up for you. I think you'll love the second one even more, man, if you haven't seen this.
I don't really get the crap talking. I mean, you lost to the Broncos last year when they were dysfunctional. Interim head coach. So I don't really get it. If you were the Kansas City Chiefs, by all means, run your mouth. But you've been losing to Denver. It's not like you've been. And Justin Herbert, what have you won? You've won nothing. You have 0 playoff wins. You have won nothing. So I don't get it. If you're the Chiefs and you're Patrick Mahomes and you have MVPs and rings, then talk. But you've won nothing. Chargers, nothing.
All right, Albert, you're going to get first dibs on the second one then. Like I said, they have screenshots that are set up in an anime type of video. This is their second year of doing it. It's been, I guess, the second year very well received because it is quite well produced, highly produced. Like I said, these are just screenshots of what I'm getting from this whole release video for the Los Angeles Chargers. Second one to you, Albert. This is our second one. This is the Week 17 versus the Broncos. So we have, looks like Sean Payton in there. We have some office hours that are listed. It says sign up, and I might be able to make this a little bit larger, guys. I don't know if that'll be the case. If I do, probably, there we go. Go. No, that's about as big as I'm going to get, guys. I've made us all disappear, but got a sign-up sheet. It says one at a time, and it says Russell's personal office on the left-hand side of the screen. So some caution tape is obviously Sean Payton is remodeling the office, it looks like. Albert, what's your first thoughts, man?
I think it is a great one because that means that Sean Payton is in leadership and doing what he needs to do. I think it is a compliment to us. It might be a little bit funny, but I'm seeing it as a positive thing because apparently the Chargers can't do it.
Very good, man. Because I know that Jody would just go off on this, I'm going to take a few words out of his mouth first. There's only so many times you can, try to take the same jabs and the same jabs and the same jabs at the same person. It gets tiresome. It gets old. We're back to Russell Wilson having his personal office jokes. I guess I shouldn't be shocked that there isn't some type of golf cart reference in here as well, because goodness, I mean, if the guy stepped in gum because he's walking down the street, the national media are going to try to report on it and spin it in some terrible way about Russell Wilson. I'm done. I'm over it. As for this season, the Chiefs aren't my most hated rival. The Raiders aren't my most hated rival. It's the Chargers who are my most hated rival, and it's because of the bulletin board material they put up there, and I hope these both are just sitting up in Russell Wilson's locker, and he uses it for the most fuel to go out there and just blow up the Chargers. I haven't said it before. I forget even where we're at because I've completely went off the rails. But it's a Chargers win for me, man. And I'm saying we're blowing the freaking doors off when it comes to this game, man. And prediction down the road, we're not letting two of them go by either. I'm predicting a win here. Where are we at, gentlemen? Have you all talked about the San Diego Chargers at this point? I believe we have, right?
Yeah.
So you're predicting the Broncos win at Chargers?
Yeah, we win as we head off to L.A., and we blow the doors off them, man. And we head off to the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions, the preeminent laughing stock of their division year after year after year, until a few things changed, and I think it all started with Dan Campbell coming to town. I think this team is going to be a bunch of ankle biters, and I can't put a win on the road versus the Lions here. I give us a loss here. We do come back down to earth versus the Lions on the road on a to-be-determined date at a to-be-determined time. And Albert, where do you feel on the Lions?
And the Lions, yeah, I agree. I will put a loss there.
Put a loss for the Lions as well, man. Appreciate
No,
you keeping it short.
For the Broncos.
Oh, for the Broncos, I mean. I'm sorry. I keep saying that. I think I did the same thing last year on our prediction show. I just don't finish out the sentence properly, or I have it in my mind that it's coming out right. Anyway, Jody, Lions, how you feeling, buddy?
I have a loss here, but I will put an asterisk if they've switched to Hendon Hooker and it's went off the rails by then I will revise to go with a win. But if Jared Goff is playing like he was at the end of the season,
that's fair.
I'll go loss here. And so what is that? What do I have? 13, yeah, 12-5 right now.
Albert has the official
12-5.
12-5. 12-5, and we head off to New England.
9-5. Sorry.
Can't be 9. Oh yeah, it'd have to be 9-5, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Where are we at?
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll let Albert do the final tabulation at the end. Regardless, it doesn't change the game that's next. It's a Sunday, evening game, as it's a Christmas Eve game in New England. We head off to New England for this game. How you feeling as we go up against Mac Jones there?
New England is coming to us.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. New England at Mile High. Yeah, New England coming to my. Thank you. I appreciate that. All of a sudden, I got switched up on my colors. Yeah, we get to. It's a home game for Christmas Eve. So, are we going to deliver a Christmas present? Are we going to be delivered that Christmas present? I should say, Jody.
Yeah, I have a win here. Mac Jones doesn't scare me. I'm not sure that he's the savior there. By this time, the Patriots are probably out of the picture. And we now know who, was it Brady or was it Belichick? We can answer that question 100%.
Yep. Wow. That's a bold statement, but that's maybe we'll chat about that at another time. We'll keep this wrapped up tight. Albert, how you feeling about the Patriots as they come to town?
Yeah,
Christmas Eve.
I think Belichick is getting predictable. So yeah, I will see a win here. Yeah, gonna give us a little present.
I love this, man, because I will absolutely pull this off. And I agree. I think Denver does get the win. I'm going to be right there with both of you and Kenny, who says Denver gets the win, and Keith will be Santa, and Jody and Dutchie will be the elves that night. Wonderful, wonderful. And he, like he says, he has us at 9-6. And like I said, guys, for me, I've already predicted it. I already put it out there, so I'll make it short and sweet. We bulldozed the Chargers this year. We take them both games. There's a home game. It's New Year's Eve at home. Take them down. Move on. Chargers get swept. I'm loving life. Dutchie, how are you feeling on this one?
Yep, we will have a win because we are now in the playoffs, and now it is we are playing for what area in the playoffs? What seed?
I love it. What seed? Yep, it's starting to get down to that nail-biting time, that last little jockeying for position going down the stretch. I love it. We need to get a win here for that reason as well. Jody, how are you feeling?
I have a win here.
All right, man. Win at home versus the Chargers, and then for a to-be-determined road game against the Las Vegas Raiders, either January 6th or January 7th, Saturday or Sunday game. Jody, how you feeling on this one as we round out the season on the road versus an AFC West rival, Josh McDaniels and the Las Vegas Raiders?
I have a win, and we finish the season off 12-5.
Just rewinding a little bit, Kenny says huge win in a tight wild card race. Broncos leapfrog the Chargers heading into Week 17. He has the Broncos at 10-6 as well. So, Dutchie, heading off to Las Vegas, a little Sin City, in order to start off the new year. How are you feeling as we head to Las Vegas, take on the Raiders?
Yeah, we definitely will have a win because we are, like I said, we are still battling for a better position in what seed we can be. So we need to have a win. So I have a win.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy. I'll be honest, man. I've been on a stretch with these Broncos. I gave them wins, multiple wins. When we talk about Buffalo versus the Vikings, versus the Browns, versus the Texans, versus the Chargers, only dropping one to the Lions, picking it back up with Lions and Chargers again. I think at some point either we tire out, or heck, with all the wins I've racked up, maybe we're not playing for as much when we pull a starter or two even at that point. I think we drop one here to the Raiders, regardless of the reasoning. I just don't see us being able to pull out that many wins on the second half of the season after the bye. I want to be somewhat realistic. I said that at the very beginning, and then I got all hyped up on the train of the Chargers and how they gave us bulletin board material. Jody, before we get off, give us some bulletin board material for any Nuggets fans out there or any Lakers fans. Do you got any updates as far as that's concerned?
Nuggets by 16 right now.
16, and what's the time? What's the quarter?
Early in the third quarter. Just
early in the third quarter. All right, so he was hoping to be off and be able to. What he's saying is he was hoping that he would be able to get off the Denver Bronco Roundup in order to enjoy the entire second half. Good. No, I'm just giving you a bad time, buddy. Hey, I appreciate it. Like I said, and this is a perfect time to I guess kind of segue, guys, because honestly, we're all fans of all different sorts. Before we get over that, Albert, can you give us the final tally? Where are we at on this, man? I didn't even think about that. Where did we all land?
So Jody and I both are 12-5.
Okay.
And you are the more optimistic.
Wow.
You are 13-4.
Wow. This is why it says right down below. It'll be coming across right as we hear in just a moment. It's my way too early, probably overhyped, maybe not highly researched prediction to start off the year. But I like it, guys. Think about that. Think about what the turnaround that is from where we were at last year. Think about what it would mean. Like Roy even says, last third I go 3-3, 8-9 for me, maybe 9-8. Heck, even 9-8, that's almost double the wins we had last year. You know, there's reason to be excited. And even if you want to be a little bit reserved, like Roy is, maybe not over the top, like Keith is, maybe somewhere in the middle, like Albert and Jody. It's okay, but guys, there's reason that we can be excited, which is fantastic. So before we get out of here, thank you everybody. Great people like Michael Ronquillo saying great show. Thank you, Michael Ronquillo. Thanks for being in here. Roy, who is in here, Kenny and Kurt from the K&K show. We had Michelle in here. We had Chad Jensen in here. Thanks, Chad, for dropping in here for a moment. You rock on as well. Appreciate you. Like I said, check out some Bridge the Gap for sure. Check out some Mile High Huddle when you're not checking out the Denver Bronco Roundup. So we appreciate you all so very much. You're the reason you're here. Like I said, title of the show, it's time for your Denver Bronco Roundup. It's all about you guys. We appreciate you. We did have plans to be talking about a little bit of a Denver Bronco minicamp. Sorry, we didn't get to it tonight. I do want to keep this a little bit short. People have other things to do. You guys, us, so we want to keep it a little bit tighter, but we appreciate you guys a ton. Before I get out of here, just want to say thank you to a few people. First and foremost, again, Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Check them out. Rocky Mountain Sports Network covers all your Colorado sports. So whether you're checking them out on Facebook, check them out, Rocky Mountain Sports Network. They're a group right there on Facebook, facebook.com/group/Rocky Mountain Sports Network, or check them out at RockyMountainSN.com. That's RockyMountainSN.com. Again, all of your Colorado sports, doesn't matter if it's Rockies, Avalanche, Broncos, or your Nuggets, who are currently on the tube, and I believe Jody's watching as the Lakers are catching up with them. WillowSeasonings.com. That's our sponsor, guys. WillowSeasonings.com is an award-winning Denver Bronco loving, Colorado living, veteran-owned, Blue Ribbon award-winning sauce and seasonings company. WillowSeasonings.com. If you head over there right now, they are our sponsor. You type in promo code DBR2023. That gives you 15% off, which is a fantastic discount at Willow Seasonings. I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to go long-winded, but for every time you do that, that's $1 is being sent to a family in need who is a big part of what Rocky Mountain Sports Network is, and of course that means they're a big part of what Rocky Mountain or the Denver Bronco Roundup are as well. Gentlemen, I want to get some final thoughts. It can be whatever you want. Like I said, we didn't get to a whole lot when it comes to the mini camp. I'll start off with Jody. That way he can be as long-winded or as short-winded as he wants. So I'm going to drop our schedule out, and Jody, take the screen, buddy.
That was the first time I seen those memes from the Chargers. I've been with you. I've been over it for a while. Just the constant hate for Russ is getting old, and I mean he's got a locker full of memes and different stuff that he's just using to fuel the fire, and he doesn't need a lot. Sean Payton is going to tweak some stuff and coach him hard, and I expect Russ to be in the MVP race, and I expect Russ to do a 180 of how he played last year. And everyone that says, "Oh, we got fleeced in this trade," we'll see. We'll see how Seattle really likes Geno Smith.
Very good, buddy. Just a couple of comments I'll get caught up on. We'll throw Albert on the screen for his closing thoughts. Kenny saying 10-7, wild card, and congratulations, guys. That's his final prediction. Flashed it up there already. Has also said simply the best in the business. Well, maybe for the Denver Broncos, I appreciate that, bud, but check out the K&K Sports Show. They're the best in the business when it comes to all your sports, especially East Coast. K&K Sports Show, check them out. And Roy jumping in here saying, great show, guys. So thank you. I got Roy, got Michael, got Kenny. You guys are fantastic. And speaking of fantastic, some final thoughts from the Dutchie himself, Mr. Albert Knoppers.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody who was in the show, Big Sis and my wife, of course, and all the others who were here. And here's also an opportunity for Rocky Mountain Sports Network. If you're interested in doing some podcasting, you know a little bit about the Avalanches or something, that contact Rocky Mountain Sports Network, because there might be an opportunity for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys are looking to expand. They're looking to get more content. It doesn't have to be a podcaster. Maybe you're doing some written content. A lot of different ways you can go. Check those guys out if you're interested. If you're a fan, always wanted to maybe have an outlet in some way, check out the Rocky Mountain Sports Network, get in contact with them, and there might be an opportunity for you as well. So, gentlemen, before I get out of here, I'll just say it's funny. I'm not sure how to exactly take Sean Payton, and I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic, and then I'll go all the way back to what we talked about during the schedule itself. Javonte Williams, he comes out and he says he expects him to be ready for training camp. Doesn't want to put him on the PUP. That would be the opportune situation, obviously, and that's what he's expecting or what he's going forward with. At the same time, he says he doesn't like to put a whole lot. We don't put a whole lot out to the media. He was the guy who says we're going to be anonymous donors, and for that reason, it could also be a complete smoke show. Just trying to, again, trying to downplay maybe what is actually going on. So as I get off of here, I don't know which way it's going to go, but until, I said this a few times, until proven otherwise, Broncos country, if Javonte Williams comes in here and he's ready for training camp and he gets through training camp, that means he's ready for week 1. Boy, my prediction, I feel really good about at that point. So that being said, gentlemen, let's hope they have continue to have a great offseason program. We'll continue to get caught up on some of what maybe happened at rookie minicamp. Gentlemen, Mr. Jody, I appreciate you jumping on here, buddy. Appreciate you being part of the conversation. Thank you very much. Mr. Albert, Mr. Dutchy, you as well. And to everybody that was in the comments, thank you guys. We appreciate you guys. It's all for you. And again, can't wait to see you. Remember, Denver Bronco Roundup every Tuesday, somewhere usually between 6:30 or 7. Always keep up to date. We're always putting the ad out there. It'll always be posted on there when we're starting. Might be 7 o'clock here for the foreseeable future. Might slide back to that 6:30 slot a little bit later on in the season. But hey, until next week, love you guys so much. Thank you so much, and go Broncos, all right?
Thank you.